Time now for the Educated Retirement Show with your host, Jay Kaplan. Jay discusses reverse mortgages and can answer your questions at 951-922-3532. Call lines are open at 951-922-3532. And now, here's Jay.
Get that going. Anyway, there it is. There I is, Dr. HECM, DRHECM.com. And see, am I getting it up high enough? Well, whatever. I'm trying. We got that 10-second delay so that I don't say bad things. So, I can't really tell whether it's up or not, but there. We'll let that work for now. So that's my shingle, and this is the pen in which I'm going to write you a prescription to get some information on reverse mortgages, HECMs, and actually everything else that applies to your house and your household. And, we've talked about that household board of directors. So welcome to the Educated Retirement Radio here on KMET, where we contemplate retirement and how best to prepare for retirement and how to best stay happily retired. Today, we have a really good guest on. Tom Markel will be joining us. And he had retired a while back, and he's back working again just to stay busy and to help create, and that helps create a healthier life for all of us. So what's up for the show today? Well, we're going to see how Jeff Bezos started out as an encyclopedia salesman and realized that Elon Musk is reincarnated from the first taxi company's owner. So hang on, I'm not retired. So that's why I need a lot of guests, but I need a lot of your input. And boy, I've got somebody calling me right now. I better say no, but I could have taken it for the radio. Anyway, we need you to give me a call at 866-955-2233. Yeah, I can help with that too. And there we go. 866-955-2233. Call right now, and I won't answer because I'm on the radio. But anytime, keep that phone number handy. Talk to me. Get connected with any of our guests, etc. So I'm going to kind of just slip right into, because you already know that here's other people are calling me. Boy, I'll tell you. I should tell them to call on air, shouldn't I? So knowledge is power. So you call, I'll always respect your information, or just email me, bestloantoday@gmail.com. And of course, you want me to have a day job because you think I need to, something that actually pays other than being on the radio. And the loan source, I am a loan officer, NMLS 384-565. I think I said that discorrectly before. And my Department of Real Estate number is 972-630. So, come you call, jump on the website, drhecm.com, or if you're a more formal type, theeducatedretirement.com. Go about halfway down there and jump on the YouTube channel. So today is, let me go grab this because this is cool. Today is Bartender Appreciation Day. Now this thing I think actually works, but there's no batteries in it. I don't have that size battery. I guess I should have just played him and shaken something for us all, but that's cool. Now we're going to talk about a couple of famous bartenders. Ruben has been with us before. We spoke with him when we were having lunch at Musso and Frank with who, Kathleen? Citizen Kane. What's his name? Can't forget. Orson Welles, you know me. I remember everything. I have a memory like a steel door closed. Ruben, Rueda, was 52 years at Musso and Frank, and he had the reputation of serving the best martini in town. And I did have a few of those, but he's gone now, so we can't have any more. Want to bring to your attention a Claire Cadorette, Cadarette. So I'm not sure how she pronounces her name, but she's been bartending continuously 79 years. That's even older than I am. At a place called Maplewood Tavern in Alpena, Michigan. So there's still hope for some of us old people. We can find a job. So last reported, which was last year, 2018, she was still pouring at age 99. And like I said, that was only a year ago. Now me, I used to be a bartender at several places, a place in Beverly Hills, several places in Orange County, Houlihan's, where I met my wife, who was a waitress, and I've been drunk ever since, I guess. And that was in mid-1970s. Here's my apron from Houlihan's, just to prove. See, how do I look? What do you think? Yeah? Okay. I thought you'd appreciate that. So, again, jump over to that YouTube station and pick it up. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to take a break because we want to get through this first part and get Tom with us. So, I'm going to give you a break long enough to mix and drink a martini. Wow, I hate to talk with that music going on. Who is that, Sean?
That's Brian Setzer, all orchestra,
still, huh?
all show.
Yeah, once in a while I call you Shane because my son's name is Shane, but he's not 200 and anyway, he's not what we talked about. He's a little smaller. But you know whose birthday it is today? It's Agnes Moorehead. So Agnes Moorehead's birthday today. And she was born in 1900. And she earned her wings and flew away in 1974. And she was a part of Orson Welles' Mercury Players, or the Mercury Theater as we know it. Oh, where's that thing, Kathleen, I was going to show? With all the tapes. Oh, well, whatever. Oh, it is in there? Okay. No, it's not. But that's okay. Orson Welles, of course, had the Mercury Playhouse, and which was a radio thing that he did weekly, I guess, out of New York. And then when Citizen Kane, that was the same one that did War of the Worlds, which you remember, right, Sean? How old were you?
Oh,
no?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I remember that one like yesterday.
Yeah. So the Mercury Players moved en masse from the East Coast to the West Coast for Citizen Kane, still considered by many the best film ever made. How many times have you seen it, Sean? You remember?
Oh, probably at least a couple.
Yeah, I bet at least 100 for me or more, but I'm slowing down a little. So I wanted to show you this old thing here. We just found it when we were looking for some items pertaining to this. These are cassette tapes, which are also making a comeback. And reel-to-reel is really making a comeback. But these are just Mercury Theater radio performances. So still got a way to play them. So I'm glad we looked for some Orson Welles stuff. I missed it when we had lunch with him at Musso and Franks. Remember, we had that conversation about how wise it was for him to get a reverse mortgage. So anyway, he moved out here in 1941, and who did he bring with him? Agnes Moorehead. And of course, she was in some of the other movies that he had, Journey of Fear. I mean, they made a lot of films. But she was also in some others and had 3 nominations, Academy Award nominations. Magnificent Andersons, which was another Mercury Theater production. And, let me show you this. Remember this? We've been taking tours of video discs, of what we call laser discs. They are still very, very good. So there. And anyway, Emerson's is a whole nother story. You could do a whole show on Emerson, so we'll go on. Johnny Belinda, she got a Academy Award nomination for, and she did for Mrs. Parkington. She was also in Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte, and almost better known by later anyway, or not as long ago, for TV work, such as Bewitched. Remember, she was the mother or whatever. And one of the most popular episodes of Twilight Zone, The Invaders. Now, Sean, do you remember that one? I know that you were just a babe when those. You weren't even born when they came out.
No, I don't think I remember that one.
She was, Agnes Moorehead was this older lady. Well, she always played a old lady, no matter how old she was. Out in the country, and this little bitty flying saucer came in with little people, and she was shooing them away with brooms, and it was pretty strong stuff. And then in the end, it turned out that the little people were the ones from Earth. I think a lot of people think it's one of the most bestest of all of those. And she died as a result of being part of a film called The Conqueror that was filmed in the St. George area. And she died, as many others did, from radioactive fallout from atmospheric atomic bomb tests. You know, where the government said everything is safe. So there was a total of 220 cast and crew members. And by the end of 1980, because this was like 1975, 91 of them had developed cancer and 46 had died. And amongst those who eventually died, if not sooner, John Wayne, Susan Hayward, Dick Powell, and, you know, God knows how many others. Got a client right now whose family was brought up in St. George, and a lot of them devastated by what had happened. So it's a pretty striking, if not terribly sad, situation that they were all put in just because of where they lived. Thomas Holtz was also born on this day, if I'm saying his name correctly, in 1953, now retired, but he played Mozart in the movie Amadeus in 1984, a movie that won 8 Academy Awards, including Best Movie, Best Actor. F. Murray Abraham, and what Abraham said in his acceptance speech was that Thomas Holtz should be on stage with him. So that was a pretty nice thing for him to say. Citizen Kane again, remember? I've got all kinds of versions, but I thought I'd bring up some history. This, as you might recall, is a video cassette. So if you don't know what one of these are, go and see The Ring. So there. So, and of course, the director also won an Academy Award, Milos Forman, who also did One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Hair, Ragtime, and let me tell you quickly who auditioned okay, for that role that Thomas Hulce won the role as Mozart. David Bowie, Mikhail Baryshnikov, Kenneth Branagh, Tim Curry, Mel Gibson, Mick Jagger, who I kind of think would have been kind of neat, and Mark Hamill wanted the role, but he wasn't even allowed to open his mouth for the audition. And that whole movie was lit with candles and natural light, just like Barry Lyndon, kind of, from Stanley Kubrick, who we talk quite a bit about. Also, Dave Brubeck, 1920, and he left us in 2012. So he won tons of awards, and also won admiration from everybody. But it also included a Lifetime Achievement Award, pianist, composer, and I think we all know probably the most popular, the one with Take 5 and all that. It's pretty cool. I've got so many versions of this, including a couple of 45s, one 45 that has 4 12-inch records because it's only recorded on one side, so that the bottom fits flat. That's another story. Lots of time changes in there. Kind of reminds me of Charlie Mingus. And Charlie Mingus just called and told us that it's time to take another break. So we'll take a real short one, and then we'll be back for just a bit. All right, is that an introduction? That's all right. Sean, let me ask you a question. Is the camera still correct?
Yeah, it looks fine.
Oh, okay, because my wife's showing me a weird... Anyway, on this day in history, because this is really a real interesting story, and I want to be a good storyteller. In 1758, the first edition of Encyclopedia Britannica was published in Scotland, and it was in print 244 years, sold door to door like Fuller Brush. So those and other companies like Helm's Bakery, which, Sean, I don't think you remember, were really the forefronters of the like of Amazon. So I told you in the introduction that Jeff Bezos was older than we think. So have you ever bought anything door to door, Sean?
No, can't say I have.
Yeah. So here's something that's really cool. Between 1914 and 1919, there was an encyclopedia company that added a gimmick for its door-to-door sales. And they were giving away what they thought would be, well, they were advertising it as a golden piece of California by offering a free slice of land, which the company thought was worthless, in Huntington Beach. So this slice of land was 110 feet by 25 feet, and they called them encyclopedia lots because they were lined up next to each other like a row of volumes or books. Those people that bought the encyclopedias, they got rich because it turned out to be very oil rich. And there's a I had never heard anything like that before, but there's a commemorative plaque on the corner of Brookhurst and Adams in front of Jersey Mike's. And they also gave away, and that plaque is still there. And they also gave away plots in Jersey also, but there was no oil, only sandwiches there. So I remember my mother used to go to Ralph's Market all the time and get these $1 encyclopedias that would come out once a week or once a month. I see them everywhere. Every time there's a bookshelf on a show on TV, there's one right there. In 1897 in London was the world's first licensed taxi cabs, and they were called hummingbirds. They were called hummingbirds because the sound they made were like hummingbirds. They were and they were only electric vehicles. So there's Elon Musk's former self. And just to throw in one extra thing, Checker started in 1922. And you are listening to The Educated Retirement here on KMET. My phone number, one more time. No, let me give you the call-in phone number, okay? The call-in phone number, especially for this other friend, 951-922-3532. And want to let you know that we will be back very quickly, and then we'll have a great conversation with Tom. I take it that's Brian again, right?
Yep, Brian Setzer Orchestra.
Doing Christmas stuff. Because it's Christmas time, or almost Christmas time. God, it happens so fast, doesn't it? It seems like we just had Christmas. But somebody once told me that the older you get, the smaller a year in a unit becomes to your life. Does that translate into time going by faster? We'll have to have a whole show on that subject. But in the meantime, Tom is with us. Hello, Tom.
Well, hello, Jay. Thanks for having me aboard this Christmas season on your sleigh to Never Land.
That's exactly it. Well, I figured what better gift than to share some time with you on the air so our listeners can enjoy our conversation like the way I always enjoy our conversations. And Tom has been in the mortgage business since the beginning of time, like I have, but he's not quite as old as I am, because hardly anybody is. But he's just rediscovered a few things about it, and we talk a lot about it because we both love the subject as much as we do. So first, just go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, Jay.
Tell us everything
Tom
about you, and then if there's any time left over,
I can't say my social security number in less than 30 minutes. So, Jay, I am in my mid-60s, and
you're just a kid.
Yeah, I'm just a kid. Still haven't gotten social security yet, but I have been married for, I think, 36 years to the same woman, and I have 4 babies that are 34, 33, 32, and 26.
Don't you have another one that's 73? Isn't that me?
And you, my new baby, my newest baby.
That's right.
This last one, that was about 7 years later, was a big error in judgment one evening.
Mm-hmm.
And but he has been the blessing in disguise, because he's kept us very young by hiking Mount Whitney and hiking the Camino in Spain, 500 miles a couple of summers ago, and fly fishing in the backcountry and skiing in places where I wouldn't go if I went with my enemies. But
you and I have a lot in common. I like to eat fish. When it comes to fishing,
you love seafood.
Yeah, well, I love any food. And when it comes to skiing, I do like that boogieing in the snow with hot chocolate waiting for you at the other end.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I know. Plus, if you do it right, they mix it with libation. A sweet libation. And, oh, boy, that's really, really a nice way to end your day skiing. Don't you know what I mean?
Well, maybe I should, but I guess I haven't had that experience yet. But that's actually a good thing, because it gives people something else to look forward to. So things that you always wanted to do but never did, you still have a chance to do them, right?
Exactly. Well, my dad died couple of years ago, and he said, right before he died, he spent 30 minutes with me, and he said, promise me 2 things. And I said, what's that, Dad? He says, you'll keep making new friends, because he died at 88, and his last friend was died at 80, and he said, I've been a lonely man for 8 years, and he said I could have done something about that. And so I have taken that on last couple of years, and you are a new friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, welcome.
But I feel like I've known you a very long time, so hopefully our listeners will too. Yeah.
That's the spirit within us, you know.
Yeah.
We've known each other a long time. So, and then the second thing he said to do is he says, get everything you want to get done before you're 75, because it's it's dog years after that.
Well, you know what? I'm getting pretty close to that.
You're getting close to dog years?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So we have to help each other get to that age.
Totally.
I'm going to get there first, though. But
you will be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be right behind you, though.
Yeah, unless we can figure out something more about time. I never really thought that time was linear. But on the other hand, I'm not quite sure how to manipulate it either.
Aha.
I think that's a little tougher out there.
Yeah, I think it's kind of how you smiled in life.
Yeah.
How many laughs a day do you get?
Laughs or laughs?
Laughs. L-A-U.
Good, because laughs don't add up much for me, but laughs do.
Well, I think that keeps you young. Laughing, smiling, and laughing keeps you young. And who better than you and I to laugh all day long?
Yeah, I think that's perfect.
Yeah, all the stories we have, especially stories I think that are the kind of stories that you and I are in this business that I just lately discovered. And you discovered what, 2012? How long have you
Thereabouts, yeah. Well,
12.
I've been in the mortgage business since the mid-'70s, but the reverse mortgage business, or the HECM home equity conversion, about then. You're right.
You were way ahead of your time.
Yes, I keep telling myself that. I've told myself that for about 73 years. Out of the first 3 years, I guess didn't matter much.
You've always been ahead of time. That's what we talked about, is time.
Right. Yeah.
You've been ahead of your time. So what is this, 18, 19? So I'm 7 years later, I discovered this remarkable product for seniors. And it is truly a miraculous opportunity to serve our seniors with a really a financial engineering product that I don't care how rich you are, how poor you are. I have a friend that's got a $25 million home down there in the Strand, next to the Ritz, and he's got a $4 million reverse on it.
Well, as he should.
I mean, I said he can go to 10 million, can't you?
I don't know. They're not quite there. The values are, but the loan limits so far are around 4 million. But 4. We're seeing those change, as they get more and more competitive. The original, the HECM, the FHA program, was embraced, I think, wrongly by a lot of large companies by advertising them as a way to save you from eating cat food tonight. Now, if it were me, I'm sure I would enjoy dog food better. But that's not the intention. These loans were never intended to be a bailout or to be a life preserver for people that were sinking. Now, if we can help anybody who is in trouble, that's great. But they weren't invented for that. They were invented to bring stability to older people and to allow them to keep what they already have or have had a lifetime, getting it together. And a lot of times, that lifetime has gotten together their house. Maybe not much more, maybe more. But it shouldn't be limited to people with X amount of money or people who are, quote, poor people. It's not for that. It's for everyone.
Well, who wants to make a house payment? I don't care how rich you are. I mean, who?
Yeah.
How about the fact that you never would have to make a house payment? And the fact that HUD has taken this product over and given it a lot more respect and dignity, I think it's important to know that everyone that's over 62, and potentially 60, right?
Yeah.
Down as low as 60, would never have to make a house payment again.
Right.
And the equity's growing to a point where your heirs get an estate that the interest that you didn't pay over all those years is added to the basis for your heirs. I mean, what can you get any better than that?
Well, they can get like you, or they can get like me. I'm not sure that's better than that, but yeah, that's exactly correct. But so many people don't want to spend the time to actually learn. They just listen to what somebody else says, their neighbors, their family, which is unfortunate, because that information isn't coming from wisdom or from education. And I think if people are properly educated, then they can make their own decision and understand everything that's there. And you can always make payments if you want to, and sometimes there's a good reason to make payments. And usually,
what do you mean for the line of credit you're talking about?
Right, for the line of credit.
That is a government basically a dividend at the same rate as the mortgage.
Yeah.
So if you make a payment, it goes into a line of credit, which generates a dividend guaranteed by the U.S. government, the same rate of the interest. I mean, we can call it a dividend, or we can call it something. But
I know, but that's a way of understanding. Yeah.
A way of understanding it.
And that has to do with interest and principal. Obviously, the principal will lower the loan balance.
Right.
But both principal and interest, dollar for dollar or penny for penny, goes into increase that line of credit. And as Phil Walker said once on this program, even if you can, why not get a mobile home? Oh, we talked about that. Yeah. Different. If you're going to buy a mobile home, if you want to pay for it from cash, okay. But make sure that cash does not come from a qualified account, because a qualified account, that will mean, first of all, you're going to pay a whole lot of taxes on it, because remember, when you were young, you're told that you put all this money into these qualified 401s or other accounts, and then they roll over to whatever, and your tax basis will be, your tax bracket will be so much lower, and that hardly ever happens. So you're going to pay a lot of taxes, but the more important part of it is those dollars are no longer working for you.
Right.
When you're retired, that is your business.
Right.
So take it from an already growing asset like your home, or if you were going to make payments on it, take the money from the line of credit, and instead of making payments to the mobile home dealer or the whatever it is, you make the payments back to your line of credit. So it's a win.
I mean, this is a 5-legged stool that is just, you just got to listen to this. You just got to listen. Now, my sister, who's a financial planner in Bethesda, she says, oh, it's too good to be true. And I had to agree with her. I mean, it is so good to be true. It's almost it's unbelievable. And then I said to her, I said, listen, if the government's going to lose $5 a human being, call it number, for Medicare today because of seniors who are on the dole, and then you say, hey, I'll provide a loan product for seniors so they don't have to tap Medicare or as much Medicare with their 20%, matching payment. We'll do it through $7.1 trillion of home equity, and I'm going to lose $3 a human being. Isn't that a better deal?
It's a much better deal. And the banks love these loans also for several reasons. They're guaranteed, so they're not going to look at any loss.
Right. It's a zero coupon bond.
And it allows them it allows them to do more investing, because they don't have to have matching funds like they do so many other things for, quote, liquid assets for the FDIC. So the banks love them.
Yeah, I got to believe they would be.
And I love them too.
I think it's a win-win for everybody. I mean, it's just so I didn't think I could live long enough to discover a new product that when I created Impact with a bunch of pretty good guys back 20 some years ago, I never thought that a new product would come along that would make a cultural shift that the subprime mortgage did back then. And then it was obviously a quality product. It's just people got greedy and stupid with it and about killed the economy. But this product, for now that we have almost 10,000 people a day turning 62, and we have over 50% of the population that's over 50 years old for the first time in history. I mean, I think we have a product that's going to create a cultural shift for seniors. And why that is, I mean, if you can tap your equity, stick it in the bank, use it as a nest egg, pay off bills, buy a car without ever paying another payment on anything you ever do again. I mean, think about that.
Right.
You buy a car, you don't have to make payments. You buy another house, maybe if you have big enough, you buy another house and not make payments. I mean,
people don't want a home loan; they want a home. They don't want a car. They don't want a car loan or a car payment, but they do want a car. So you get these.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's just crazy good. And you know what? We the taxpayers are paying for this product for seniors. So why wouldn't you take advantage of a product that you're paying for in your taxes anyway?
Right. And a lot of it isn't really coming, if it comes from taxes, fine, because I think it's a program that helps. First of all, it saves taxes in the long run. We are living longer and longer. The largest single growing group in this country are the 100-year-olds, followed by the 85-year-olds. And we're not there yet, either one of us.
Right.
And those people are going to get sick. We all get sick, but the longer you're around, the more you have the possibility of getting sick. And,
hey, Jay.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay, my sons, I made a mistake and told them that I have this major life insurance policy coming due at 75.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, we're a big ski family.
Yeah.
So one of the brothers was saying, why don't we take the cliff sign down, at 75, and we'll take Dad through there. And your Dad, follow me. And then he stops at the last second. And of course, I don't have the skill to stop and go right over the cliff.
Oh.
So the kid said, Dad, we assure you, you're never going to make it past 75.
Now, you will. You will. Now, I am very talented when it comes to rolling down ski slopes. And I could probably be well used by getting those slopes ready for the next run.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you'd be
my next, is that my next profession?
Gravity favors weight. So it's a perfect sport for you. Yeah. It's a perfect sport for you.
Absolutely.
It's a perfect sport for me. I mean, I'm 235 pounds and a Greek god, as my wife would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got swampland in Florida, if you believe that.
Yeah.
She says, you look just like you did when I married you 36 years ago.
Well, eyes get old too,
Come on.
And,
You've seen me. You know the Greek god that I am.
Oh, yeah. That you want to be? Yes, I know. Exactly.
Exactly.
But, what's going to happen to taxes if all these people are living to around 100 or more even, and they're all sick, and you know how much it costs for nursing homes, or for whether you're in a nursing home for the rest of your life or just for a year or two or for recovery. I mean, you sell a normal home, one that's, say, less than $1 million, right, or thereabouts, and if the two of you go into I hate to call it a nursing home, a retirement home, that money you got from selling that home is only going to last you a few years, and then what?
Right. Now, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But I think it's more than that. I mean, I think going into a senior home, didn't they do some study that said that if seniors are moving into a senior care facility, their life expectancy drops and their medical problems increase versus staying at home in a place where home was, right? Where memories have been found, right?
Right. And you're more comfortable.
Right.
And, for me, I got my electric trains out back. I got the stereo, the 8,000 albums,
Right.
And, other people may find it a little different, but, it's home.
Well, I know for a guy like you going to one of those senior care facilities,
that ain't gonna work.
I think there's 40 to 1 is the odds.
Yeah.
40 girls to one guy.
Oh. Okay.
So, there might be some benefits.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. But, it's expensive benefit.
Well, yeah.
In more than one way.
It can be. It can be.
Yeah, those are like, what is it, $10,000 a month or so for.
I can get. Well, no, I think they'll.
It depends how much care you need.
Well, yeah, right.
Like some of those nicer ones, you have to put up like $100,000 up front,
right,
and $7,000-8,000 a month and rent, and then there's in-home care, which is better in my opinion, and yours and a lot of other people's, and that can be even more expensive.
You know what else? What is another option? And I know two people are doing this. They're in their 80s, both women, but they're traveling in ships around the world for 12 months of the year.
Yeah,
they just get on a ship, and they have the best doctors, and they have their, all the food and entertainment and peace and joy and views, and they get off and they go visit places. And this woman, I met her in Dallas, Texas, here probably about a year ago. She was about 85, and she just says, I start in I just go around the clock. I go around the world. Around the world, yeah. She rents a little home in Dallas. It's very inexpensive. And she travels. And she does all this last-minute travel. So she gets called, can you get on a plane in the next 48 hours and be in Florida? Yes, I can. And she just travels around.
Now, the other thing, if you had a home and you had a reverse mortgage, you'd have to keep that. First of all, you wouldn't be paying the rent, even though it's a small place. There'd be no rent. There'd be taxes and insurance, but you may have that included also in your reverse mortgage. And as long as you're there during the year, you come and go, you still keep it. And the money that you take, it's even cheaper to go around the world.
And you still
have value in a property that you may want to sell or leave as a legacy.
Hey, I got a better idea too. And you and I could be an escort on those ships, So if anything happens to our wives, those ships are looking for really good-looking men to dance with the girls and go to dinner with them and things like that.
Okay.
I was thinking about you in that role.
Oh, thank you. I think the key word in what you said was roll, because that's, again, we discussed I can roll well.
Listen, you're a stud muffin in my book.
Yeah, well, I'm glad. You got quite a book there. It's a pretty thick volume, as we said. Did you hear that? I don't know whether you were listening, that story about the Huntington Beach encyclopedia lots?
No.
There was an encyclopedia company that sold everything, sold door to door. It was the beginning of Amazon, of course, where the material came to you. But this one company was giving away lots in New Jersey, which didn't amount to anything, and they were giving away lots for free. If you bought a set of encyclopedias, they had these bigger plots of land. They divided them up into 25 feet by like 110, something like that. I'd have to look it up again, and they were all side by side, so the lots kind of looked like books on a shelf. And they gave you one of these encyclopedia lots if you bought the encyclopedias. The ones in Huntington Beach turned out to be oil rich and came with the rights to it. And wow, huh?
How about that idea?
Yeah.
I met a guy about 10 years ago who his name was Henry, and I had started the very ever first, and maybe this is 20, now I'm dating myself, maybe longer than that, maybe 20 some years. I was 26 years old, so yeah, 40 years ago. Anyway, it seemed like yesterday. I created the outdoor roller skate, and he became an investor, and he wrote me a check for $1 million to invest in my company. And I asked the banker, tell me a little bit about this guy, because he looks like the one-eyed Cyclops, and he didn't look like he had any money. And he says, well, his dad has all the land between Main Street and Golden West on the.
He bought a lot of encyclopedias.
He must have bought a lot of encyclopedias, and his royalties are $1 million a week. And he's the only kid in the family. That was it. That's all he had.
I'm the only kid in this family, or like I said, I'm the youngest of a family of one. But
you want to be in that family, don't you?
That is truly a too good to be true scenario there.
There's only two ways to get rich, my dad said. either option it or inherit it. Which one are you, Jay?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out.
Well, I think the ministry that we have here, and truly I think it's a ministry, is sharing this incredible new government product with everybody we know. And I think this is a wonderful way. What you're doing is having people on the show that know something about what they're doing. I don't know why you had me on it, but I discovered this product about, 4 months ago. And then I was not a believer. And I was like many people. I said I would never put anybody in a reverse. I mean, somebody should go to prison if they do. Because, I heard the stories. I heard the banks were taking the houses. They were kicking out the old lady. They were taking the equity. There was just nothing good about them.
Wow.
And then it took you to straighten me out. And it was true. And it's not true. It's in the government takes over the product, gives to HUD takes. It was just and now they've taken all that and said, hey, you get the equity when you sell it. You never can kick out. So in your case, where you've married a woman half your age, she gets to stay in the house forever. Yeah. I live in Newport Beach, and I say to my wife when she gets in trouble every once in a while, I said, listen, my second wife isn't even born yet. That always engenders me to her.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, it's why we spent $30,000 in marriage counseling. Anyway,
no, you didn't.
I'm teasing.
I know
we have a wonderful marriage and 4 great kids. But anyway, it's true. I mean, a lot of people marry younger people, and here's this woman that can live in the house for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great deal. And they keep the house for her, and the kids get the estate, and they get it raised in basis, and they never make a house payment again, and you can take your money and do whatever you like with it up to half the value. I can't.
So you have a lot of equity when it starts. So they're not. Sometimes people say, well, can I get more money? You don't really want more money. You have that house as your investment. You need to keep it that way.
Exactly.
So this does that exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, even my friends that have all the money in the world, who wants to make a $40,000 or $50,000?
I'm glad you got
payment?
Friends like that.
Oh, lots of them, and you're one of them.
Oh yeah, right.
My friendship is rich in you.
Well, thank you. I feel the same. And I really appreciate it. I'm glad we were able to meet and get that. I'm glad you were able to get on board with the reverse, because I have a feeling you're going to do a lot for the product and for bringing more people into understanding this over the next until you're 75 anyway.
Well, at least. Well,
I think you're going to be a big part of this. Now, I don't know how much information you want to give about your contact, but, if anybody's out there and would like to speak to Tom, call me. I get you in contact with him. Tom likes to, he likes to meet people and get to know what's going on and learn.
And break bread. And break bread.
Yeah. Well, I've broken a lot of bread, haven't I?
We broke a lot of bread together, brother.
Yeah, but
and we've only known each other for 90 days, so.
Yeah, I didn't even know if it's been that long, but it's been
maybe
about
not been that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate you sharing this time here, and hopefully you'll be back again. I hope you and the whole family had a great Thanksgiving, and you're going to have a great Christmas and Christmas season and New Year's even.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's going to go by so fast, but that's all right. I'm looking forward to next year, too.
And we have to have you and your wife over for Din.
Yeah. Kathleen, did you hear that?
You see that? Did you see the Christmas tree there?
Come say hello.
See the fireplace?
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's
ski village.
Yeah. Kathleen, come over here. Say hello. No, she's not.
She's not coming over. Hi, Kathleen. Nice to see you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Take care. And Kaplan will be here on the same corner in front of the cigar store, same cigar store, next week. Thanks so much. Take care.
You've been listening to the Educated Retirement Show with Jay Kaplan. Tune in every Friday at